More or Nothing.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of MAUL or Nothing with Ryan and Max. Plenty coming up. We're looking ahead to the penultimate round of the Six Nations, and we will have none other than Ireland and Munster star Simon Zebo coming on in a little bit, or will we, Ryan?
Oh yeah, well hold on. I've literally received a text. I'm sorry for everyone that's listening to this 3 days late. Usually do it on a Sunday, and we said, we'll give them a bit of leeway. We'll let Zeebs come on Monday, and then Monday changed to Tuesday, and then Tuesday very quickly changed to Wednesday. So he's going to attempt to come on, boys. But this is, when it comes about flaky, Simon Zebo's as flaky as they get. He's a busy man. And this is why he didn't last too long with the old podcast, because he would turn up and just be like, I didn't fucking watch it. Wouldn't watch half the game.
That's why we love him.
One day we just phoned him and we're like, Zeebs, where are you, mate? He went, I'm down the beach. I've forgotten we've even got it on. So if we are graced by his presence, I will be very surprised, and hopefully we get some gold out of him. So yeah, sorry to everyone. And also sorry to everyone looking at what is going on in Max's fucking screen. Max, what is going on? I'm trying to work it out. I reckon it's the helicopter pilot from Avatar. That's what we look like.
No.
Describe what it is, Max.
Also, where have you got a suntan from?
It's been sunny. There's been a nice couple of days of sun. I just get outside, lounge about, you need that bit Z, boy. It's
a microclimate in Bristol.
No, I do not go to the beds. No, don't be silly. That doesn't mimic the great radiation of our star, the sun. No.
Well, talk to me about the glasses anyway.
I said the glasses are essentially a mitigator for blue light radiation that is emanated from all around us, everywhere. But that's a conspiracy for another day, gentlemen. But also the headphones are a worthy addition, as I'm at my brother's desk right now. And Jimmy said that headphones were crucial for the sort of technical sound. Well, they're a little bit kind of bulky, aren't they? I would say they're somewhat obnoxious.
Anyway, boys, it's good to have Mark back from Singapore on his jolly holidays. Unbelievable that this bloke just fucking swans off. Were you okay? I'm guessing you flew first class or business?
No, it's fine. It was good times. It was really good. Fine. Flew nicely. It was nice to be in a safe city where, you're not going to get mugged or shanked. And the weather is beautiful and people are lovely.
So you're telling me there's nobody out there serving up nut faces? It's just...
I didn't have my T-shirt on and I wasn't asking for it. On. Well, yeah, we have got Zeebs here yet again, looking like he's dogging, but he is not. He is actually in his driveway, and he is here to give us some wonderful previewing material for Ireland versus England. And I think probably for Max, Zeebs is just going to tell us how England can beat Ireland, right? That's what you're going to give us, the keys to the kingdom, peeking behind the screen and getting the insight of how it can be done. Because it can be done, right?
Here we go.
I'm interested to hear what you got to say.
This is deja vu. This is deja vu, isn't it? Do you remember this last time? Very good.
Yes, I do.
Fantastic.
So you reckon there is no chance on earth this weekend?
No, no chance. I genuinely see no chance. Unless Ireland got 3 red cards.
3?
Maybe. 3. Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I genuinely... I was actually quite surprised. The point spread was so tight. It's 12 or 13 points. I think the bookies have it, so... Yeah, I probably won't be getting a job in the bookies because I have it at about 35 points. I think it's going to be an absolute hiding. Just mainly because of the fact they seem to be still figuring out Felix's defence and stuff and Ireland are probably the worst team to play when you're figuring out a defence because they're so in tune with their shape and so in tune with the attack structure that they'll be able to pick these boys off. And South Africa are pretty well accomplished defence, especially in that system. And they still struggle with Ireland a bit, as we saw in the World Cup. But yeah, this is going to be a mismatch, we'll say it, to put it lightly. I'd imagine so, unless there's some miraculous performance comes from somewhere. But yeah.
Well, so just on that, we won't go. We'll come back to it. England, Ireland. So if England have no chance, what are the chances? Scotland obviously winning this weekend in Italy and then going over and beating Ireland day before St. Paddy's Day at Aviva.
I'd like to say that would make for an unbelievable game, but knowing Scotland, they'll probably lose to Italy. Do you know what I mean? They throw all their eggs into one or two baskets and then they've nothing left for the Italians. So I don't know. I see. I'd hope, you'd like to think they'll beat Italy and set up a cracker of a game in Dublin, but even having said that, I still think Ireland are too far down the track to slip up at home against Scotland. I just think we have their number over the years, and I don't see a big surprise there. I would say that this England game, jokes aside, could be tougher if England start well, have a big 20 minutes, and the crowd get behind them. If Ireland were to slip up, it would be this weekend, but I just don't see it happening. I'd see us being too strong, and then there's no chance in hell Scotland would have, stopping us a Grand Slam in Dublin. I'd highly doubt that.
Do you think Andy Farrell's putting out a message this week to be? I mean, you've said the only way England can win is 3 red cards. I have seen, red cards being bandied about as the potential kind of spoke in the wheels of where it might go wrong for Ireland. Do you reckon there'd be that sort of messaging at all, being like, guys, don't fuck it up. Like, just come on, let's just do what we do, but not overly do what we do.
Yeah, I think they'll have, Ireland will have a huge awareness around what Felix is trying to do, and they'll delve into their games against South Africa and see what they did well and what they could do better. But I think they'll be solely focusing on themselves. Like, it's Ireland's Grand Slam to lose here now. I think they're playing too cohesively, and they're just playing with the confidence now at the moment that we probably didn't see since before the World Cup, and they just look unbelievably impressive, and that's no bias attached. That's just seeing or calling it how I see it. So England's defence could pose us problems potentially if they are all on the same page and they pull off a couple of big reads, whatever, and stop our flow. But their attacking shape wouldn't worry me really at the moment, just because they just seem to be a bit one out off 9 and then off 10. They don't know whether they're going to the wider channels or kicking the ball up into the skies, and it's just there's not a whole lot of consistency there yet. You'd like to have seen more of an impact there from the attacking point of view since Steve and the likes have taken over. So I think their defence will be better week on week, but I'm still falling short at seeing where their attack is taking them and what they're trying to do. So
what is interesting though is you look at the way that Ireland play. They've made the most passes in the championship so far. They want to keep hold of the ball, right? And that's the brand of rugby everyone wants to see. They're so fucking good at it. But the chat is England are trying to keep hold of the ball, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. When you've got the ball in hand though, you're less likely to make mistakes in terms of high tackles, red cards. That's where you're able to stay squeaky clean. You look at the French, like they obviously don't have that chat. Boys try and keep it squeaky clean. You just knew that red card was coming, didn't you, in the Italy game? You knew they were getting frustrated. They weren't getting anything out of it. And they looked like they're going to give away a red card. Whereas Ireland, because they're always on the front foot, because everything's going their way all the time, they just look so fucking comfortable, Zeebs. It doesn't look like they're going to fuck up.
Yeah, they do. They look incredibly comfortable. And the thing I would say on the attack is there's teams who try to hold on to the ball, but there's teams who really, really, do anything possible not to kick it away. And Ireland, even if you catch them behind the gain line after 5, 6, 7, 8 phases, they have systems in place to go back to go forward, whether that's going down the short side or, putting little short attacking kicks in. They're not kicking the ball aimlessly away. It's the mindset that if we do have to kick, we're making it a 50-50 to get it back, as opposed to just hacking it long or whatever, unless it's an exit. Their mindset is no matter where they are in the pitch, hold on to the ball and make defences become incredibly unstructured, where you find props, second rows out and edges, and then you pick them off. So they have a system in place where it's just completely designed around holding onto the ball, and that's where they're so effective. Yeah. So it's, as opposed to other teams who try hold on to the ball and then they might get 2-3 phases behind the gain line and then they kick long for territory or a little disorganized box kick. But the systems are very, very well put in place, and every player knows what they're doing and when they're going to kick and what situation has to arise for them to kick, so they're so far down the track in terms of the system that it's going to be very hard to put them off.
Zeebs, do you reckon this Irish team is better than last year? Like better than that World Cup Irish team? Would you say they've improved?
Yeah, I would. And I'd say they've gotten experience, more that extra experience of won a big global tournament like the World Cup, but that match experience for the younger group who have really kicked on now. The Jack Crowleys, Calvin Nashes, even someone as experienced as Robbie, him getting back into the team for a few games. Big Joe McCarthy. It just goes on and on. Those guys have gotten so much experience over the last couple of months that they just seem to have kicked on another gear. And they're just looking so impressive that a team like England at the moment, where they're kind of struggling to find their identity, and a huge game at home, yes, but you just struggle to see where it's going to come from. Where are they going to beat Ireland? In what area? It's not going to be... there's a number of areas where I think they'll struggle. So, they're just too far down the track for England to pose problems with no identity at the moment.
Zeebs, is there an element, and obviously this is actually due to how much success you guys have had over several years now, but that this will be the sort of least enjoyable Grand Slam in a weird way because of what happened in 2018. You had to go to France to win in that opening game. And then obviously last year, there was so much of that build-up again against France. And then it happened and it was this huge, incredible thing in the run-up to the World Cup. And now this has been pretty easy for you guys. Is there an element of, okay, third Grand Slam, bit too easy?
I think the only kind of not drawback, but the only thing that might take a tiny bit of the shine off would be the World Cup that people, really believe that we were going to win. I think each Six Nations of the past number of years, especially when Andy's been in charge, we've either won or came second, or, we're consistent at putting good accounts of ourselves in Six Nations. It was the World Cup, it was probably a bit of a drawback. Grand Slams are obviously incredibly tough to do. So to do it back to back would be hugely special and would put such, it would reinvigorate the country and, get everybody properly positive the whole way around about Irish rugby again. But the World Cup was probably just takes a tiny bit of the glass off it. But this group is onwards and upwards, and you can see that by their performances already. They're already, they haven't pressed pause or anything. It's been, we're going full throttle forward, and they're evolving their game even more so. So it's been very impressive. Yeah.
Zeebs, you've spent a bit of time with Andy Farrell. What's he like? Why is he so good? What makes him so good? And obviously he's got the job for the Lions. Yeah. I think everyone's choice. What makes him so good, mate?
I think if you were to put your finger on one thing, I would say it's his positive mindset, whether that be around the style of play we want to play or his player management or, how he handles the team environment. Everything is ultra positive, and it's a fantastic place to be. Like you run through a brick wall from everybody is like super hungry to play, whether you're an impact player off the bench. Everybody knows their role. He makes everybody feel $1 million about their role, and it's that sense of a full squad effort, whether you're involved or not. The whole squad is as tight as the starting 15. It's a full team effort, and I think that positive mindset is it's his point of difference, I suppose. And everybody's playing really good rugby, and he'll keep that fire burning. So he's a great fella.
Boys, do we think this is the most? How to put it? I mean, I can't think of a team that has dominated the Six Nations so much in 1 year. And I'm thinking back to 2003, maybe that England ahead of winning in the World Cup.
What about Scotland?
They never win more than a cup.
You want to Calcutta Cup again? Hey!
Well, coming for that fucking Triple Crown.
And don't you have another...
Fans Grand Slam, Zeebs. That's what they call it, the Fans Grand Slam.
And don't you
cheated out.
Don't you win another trophy now if you beat Italy?
Yeah, what's that one called?
Garibaldi or something.
Yeah, no, the Katia Cup. And then we're going for the Triple Crown and the Fans Grand Slam.
It's funny because Scotland seem to do a lap of honour after every game, but never win the trophy.
This bloke. Like, sometimes I think to myself, well, I'd be good to get Zeebs on. And then I think, what am I doing to myself?
How good.
Man. Hey, listen. Zeebs, this is how I saw it, right? And I know we can't keep going back to that decision against French. You'll agree it was definitely a try.
Yeah.
The ball it was a try, and it would have made for such a better match. Go in there. You're right. I've said it. There's a good chance we could go over and fuck it up against Italy. I bloody hope to God not. But imagine coming up to that last game with a Grand Slam on line for both teams to be playing for a Grand Slam. It just would have made the occasion all that bit more sweet. It would have fucking made it all that bit more. And you never know. But you actually never know when it's two teams going for a Grand Slam. Oh man, okay, I know you're gonna laugh, but if Scotland do go and fucking beat Ireland next week, they win the Triple Crown. But actually, you're going, oh fucking hell, it should have been a Grand Slam we're going after. It almost makes it a bit more bitter. And I know that actually we need England to beat Ireland this weekend to make it possible, but I'd rather cut my fucking nose off to spite my face. and watch Ireland dominate England this weekend, and we just go over there and have a laugh of it. But that would have been incredible.
Yeah, it would have been unbelievable, to be fair. I was gutting. Obviously, if you're a Scottish fan now, when you do manage to beat Ireland, it would be the biggest sickener of all time, But yeah, these things happen. I think realistically, though, in that 80 minutes against the French, Scotland would probably be looking back being disappointed that they left it up to that decision at the end of the game. They should have notched up a few extra scores, I would have thought, during the game, or they certainly would have seen the opportunities where they could have. So to just base their loss just on that try or no try is, I suppose, you kind of... It's not your own fault, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Translated, that means get over it. Literally get over it.
Yeah, it's your fault.
What about? We've not heard from you since the Netflix doco with the Messi of rugby. What fucking talk to me about that?
Oh, brilliant! I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it when Andrew Porter. I like Andrew Porter and Finn were on the screen. I got good crack out of them, or I enjoyed watching them. I'd like to see them get a bit more access now the next time round. They're filming again this year, aren't they? I think so. Yeah,
they are. Yeah.
Hopefully now they can learn off the first one and really get good insight, and hopefully the coaches open the doors a bit more. So I suppose fans of the game can see what really goes into the tactics behind looking after different oppositions and things. So, but from a personal point of view, seeing the human side of the players was pretty cool. So yeah, more screen time for White Chocolate definitely going forward. He was the star of the show.
Also, just on the other big news, obviously, Racing pretty well, and you'll know Owen Farrell. What do you reckon with that move? Is he going to fit in over there at Racing?
I would think, yeah. I think he will fit in, to be honest. I think a few years ago, when it was a very different squad, that squad where we went to the Champions Cup final, maybe that style of play was quite different to the way they're playing now. I think having worked with Stuart Lancaster before and understanding his shape, I think it'll be a pretty seamless transition for him, as opposed to the more French style that we used to play under Laurent Labitte and Mike Prendergast a few years ago. That was very... Not that he can't play off the cuff or anything, but Owen thrives similar to Johnny in structure a bit, where he knows where his players around him will be. He knows everybody's on the same page. In France, it was just a very loose, off the cuff. You see somebody go on a bounce on an outside line, you rip that. It was very, I suppose, instinctual. So I think this style of play that Racing are trying to go after will suit him down to the bone, and he'll have a really successful time there. He's a class player.
I just still can't believe you ever fucking left. You could have been there with fucking Sia Khaleesi down meeting Jurgen Klopp, mate, rather than the pissing wet down in fucking Cork, wherever the fuck you are.
I'm in the real capital of Ireland, you hear me?
Oh, fuck you.
The Patriots capital.
Yeah.
I was in a pub not so long ago and he fucking phones me. And I said, mate, I'm at this pub down the road. He's like, get the fuck out of there as quick as you can. He was worried for my life.
Yeah. Pick and choose wisely around here, my friend.
Zeebs, quick one. Get your thoughts ahead. Where I think we're pretty much set on England are going to smash Scotland. Thoughts on your little other cheeky French side, France playing Wales. Thoughts on that game?
Thoughts on that game? I would say it's tough. Like Wales did well against Ireland for a significant chunk of the game where they were able to nullify or attack a little bit. But we obviously got some fatigue into their legs and did what we had to do with the bonus point. But I think France should have too much for them. You'd like to think somewhere or another it'll start to click for the French boys, even if it's a 20-30 minute period. They don't have to perform for the full 80, I don't think, to beat this Welsh team at the moment and where they at in terms of their progression and development with this younger squad. But I just think that France probably would have too much power for them, and if they decide to mentally switch up and turn on, that they should get Wales out of there within 50-60 minutes. But Wales are resilient and dogged, and they can make it a bit of a shit fight, so you never write them off. It'll be a closer game than people think, but I still think France have too much. Yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I know you barely watch rugby, to be honest, because there was a fucking downfall last time we did this stuff. But you might have watched this, the NRL. Did you see the stuff in Vegas with the NRL?
Yeah.
Literally, the man either spends time looking after the kids or on TikTok. You're just flicking through fucking TikTok, aren't you? Oh, fucking hell. The Rabbitohs played the Seagulls in Vegas at the weekend on Fox Sports, and it was, go and have a look. It was unreal. Like, you should see it. It's fucking, that's the way they've done it. It looks like they've got ahead of us again.
Yeah. No, I saw it. Yeah.
It's fucking cool. You got Russell Crowe over there doing like the intros.
Super cool. That's the way rugby needs to go forward. Yeah, and I've seen a bit of it actually. Since, like, obviously having spent a lot of time in the arena playing with the glitz and the glam, the cheerleaders, the light shows, the screens, the whole kind of festival atmosphere around it. I'm starting to see one or two other teams, start to, go down that route slowly but surely. Whether it's the light shows before kickoff, like we have, the activities around the stadiums and stuff, it's becoming more, I suppose, supporter friendly and more inclusive to having a crack and the rugby, not just coming to sit down for 80 minutes. So it's very, very cool. And watching something like that in Vegas and getting such a unbelievable support for it was fantastic. Hopefully onwards and upwards in terms of that. Because we need to make the game as appealing as possible. So yeah, fantastic. I'm all for that.
Just get more people like Simon Zebo. Fucking
celebrate, lads. Yeah, enjoy.
Yeah, but that's what the Netflix show, right? That's suddenly you look at the impact that has had already, and it's so weird that it's like parts of rugby are trying to fight against. It's a team sport and we shouldn't be promoting individuals. But actually, look at every other successful sport in the world is based around individuals, also in team sports as well. And it's like rugby is finally getting it. And I think it's a breath of fresh air, right, fellas?
Yeah, 100%.
Demagoguery is good for everyone, isn't it? Yeah. Worship idols and heroes.
Yeah, and it's becoming more personable. Like, players are showing themselves a bit more, which is good to see now. You don't have to be flamboyant or this and that, but even people like Johnny, like versus the start of his career compared to the end, everybody knew what he was about. Everybody knew how he acted, and everybody knew what his personality was about. Showing more personality, I think, is great for the game. And it's fantastic. Like, I remember when I was starting, I used to get abused for having my socks down or celebrating after a few tries, and now you know, it seems to be shifting. The goalposts seem to be shifting slightly. So you see more and more people expressing themselves, showing personality, having fun, and it makes the game more enjoyable to watch, you know. And yeah, I'm all for that. Yeah, for sure.
It's given your old mate Peter O'Mahony that base to go out on his Instagram and just hammer his gardening bits.
Yeah.
Mate, fascinating.
Fascinating. Were you into that? Would you like that?
No. I stumbled across it and I was like, really? He was like fully into it. He's in deep green thummery. Like, fantastic.
He's a complete lunatic, to be fair to him, but it's a nice garden.
Like, perfect. You see immaculate follicles of grass as far as the eye can see.
With the scissors and everything. Like, like a lunatic.
He was talking about his fucking rhododendrons the other day or something like that, saying, you know, make sure you cut them before the stalks. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Is he having a drink before he does that? Or is he just...
He's a gas man.
But Zebo, Andrew Porter's squatting habits after a game, that blew my mind. He's in a powerlifting gym after a game of international rugby, and he's repping out 240. Bananas. Absolutely
he's a beast.
Clean off, yeah.
You would get on like a house on fire the two of you.
I can tell. Yeah. That's a man of worth right there.
Yeah, me, you, and him.
Yeah. Good set of getaway sticks on you, Zeebs.
Zeebs, you threw a few names out earlier, just like who has impressed you most out of the new boys coming in? Because you got your Nash, you got your McCarthys, you got Crowley obviously stepping up at 10. Like, who's impressed you the most for Ireland this Six Nations?
Genuinely, even though, it's probably a strange one for me to say, but Joe McCarthy's been unbelievable. Like, he's been... What a man mountain. He's like, he's just been ruining people's attacking shape, like getting stuck in at the ruck, making boys overcommit, smashing fellas at tackles, counter-rucking. Like, he's just become an unbelievable nuisance. And he can play ball as well. He's a big carrier. He's got offloading ability. He's good in the line-out. He's just shown how valuable he is to this whole Irish setup and how this Irish attack functions, and in defence as well, obviously. But yeah, I've been very impressed with him. He seems to have taken to this starting role seamlessly, and yeah, he's trouble.
Agreed.
He's trouble.
Horrible.
We put him in our Galacticos, you know, Newcastle. Obviously, the Saudi chat with the Saudi Arabians coming in for Newcastle. If they offered you a gig for a load of cash, are you going to Newcastle next, Zeebs? Because I can see you there, mate, with the Saudis.
Yes, whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Whatever you want.
I'll be straight over.
Zeebs, you know that Wills likes to run his mouth a little bit. Can you respond to this quote, which was, "I could play fly half in that Ireland team"?
Do you want me to tell you why I think I could do that? Because it looks so fucking easy. Armchair ride, mate. Everyone's doing the job for you. You're just sitting there and distribute. So you with me? You fucking
fucking get your side in first.
No, I would say that Ryan in particular, no. But I can understand what he's trying to say. Just in terms that it is probably the easiest system I've ever seen for a 10 to play. That doesn't take away from it. Like, Jack's performances have been amazing, and same with Johnny before, all exceptional. There is a bit of detail around knowing what to do, but once you're into the system, like, it is, you know, easier for a 10, I think, because most of the attacking kicks, or most of the kick pressure, will come off 9. So his distribution is the main thing, and the scrum halves dictate whether to go down short sides or not. So you're just flowing in and out, and you're distributing to the middle pod of forwards, or, you know, connecting with the backs on the outside. It is easier. I do agree with you. It is definitely easier, as opposed to 5-6 years ago. The pressure to find kick space would have been on the 10. The pressure to organise where forwards be and what calls to call would have been on 10. The call whether to go back down short sides would have been on 10. A lot of onus has been taken off that first playmaker for sure, and they're just allowed. It's easier for them to flow into distribution and getting the attacking shape going for sure. I understand your thoughts, but yeah,
piece of piss.
So, well read, Ryan. Well read.
What's he like? What's Jack Crowley like?
He's class. He's very, very assured young fella. He's got a very good skill set. Massively keen to learn. You know, like when you see younger guys and some boys might come through, you know, and think, no, I'll do this my way or that way. No, Jack's very open to learning. He wants to ask other members of the squad what he thinks or how he wants this pass or kick, or, you know, he's just very, very open, wants to learn as much as possible, and he has a great temperament about him. So nothing seems to faze him in whether he puts in a bad kick or, you know, hits a kick out in the full or hits a back shoulder pass. It's on to the next job, and he's very focused and driven. So, I think the sky's the limit with Jack. He has all the attributes to keep pushing and going all the way and fight for a Lions jersey eventually, whether it's next year or 4 years' time. He won't be a million miles off, and especially having Andy as his coach will help. So, he's a quality player and a good young kid who's willing to learn. So.
You see him as the future of Irish rugby in terms of that fly half position, which there was a lot of chat around who could actually fill Johnny's shoes, and he seems to have done a really good job.
I certainly think for the near future, anyway, for sure. I'll be interested to see how this young Sam Prendergast goes. He'll get an opportunity as well. He seems to be fitting into the Leinster system quite seamlessly and has a bit of skill set and X factor about him too. So he's of that age where I'd imagine he'll be pushing Jack now. When he gets a little bit more experience for years to come. So it'll be a nice old battle, a little ding-dong. But I'm playing with Jack. I know what he's all about, so I'll back him for sure.
How's the injury, mate, just before we lose you? You're gonna have to
good, thanks, good. Yeah, get injured these days, getting out of bed. But my knee's feeling good now at the moment. I'm back running and I've done about 10 running sessions, so... should be back for an Ospreys fixture we have at the 22nd of March. So hopefully be available for that. All fingers crossed and all going well. So, not quite done yet.
My man. Honestly, the busiest man I've ever seen on earth.
Yeah, hero.
No.
Thank you so much.
I love you all, guys. I love you all.
What a man.
It's fucking class every time. I'm like... He's just class. He is just class.
He's a good boy. But it is interesting to hear, boys? Like, even come from him, he's still... There's something that worries him a little bit. I know he goes and jokes, but there was a little bit of him who was a bit worried about this. No, not the Scotland game this weekend.
Right. I thought...
He said, I'm a little bit worried about, there could be something, but... If England get a good start, but will they, Max? Let's just quickly touch on it before we head off to the other games.
Okay.
Is there, Max, genuinely in your mind, any way that England can upset this Irish Grand Slam?
Yeah, let's be honest. A thinking man, a sane man would say, no, they're Mark Wahlberg and George Clooney in The Perfect Storm and Islands of the Bering Strait Sea. It's not looking good. But the caliber of man and player on that English side can prove a handful for anybody. So there's always a chance.
Well, there's chat of unrest in the camp this week, Max.
Really? I have no. That's unbelievable. Really,
mate? There's
hit me with it.
There's chat of unrest in the camp. Felix Jones, I think, falling out with a few of the players. I think the players, what I've heard, and some of the whispers that are going around. But I'm forgetting you're on a week off.
He's Lazowski's dad. That's what's happened, isn't it?
Yeah. You've been fucking stripping wallpaper and painting fucking houses. You've not kept your finger on the pulse for us and for our listeners.
Sorry, I did not know that was coming down the grapevine. Talk to me. So unrest between Felix Jones and the players? What is it?
Apparently, a little bit of chat in the camp. Or what I'm hearing is they want to, they're trying to get this attack system going, and obviously he wants to get his defence in place. Problem is, some of the information I get can't be trusted from Twitter.
You were going to give us a name of somebody.
I thought you were in someone's pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought you were going to have a little info.
No, my birds have been quiet. To quote Varys, they've not been singing. Yeah.
Well, it's what I mean. A sort of chat for Steve Borthwick's head and things like that. You've seen that because people are going, "Oh, we're not getting any better." But how much longer would you give him, Max? I'm not
to be honest,
but he's trying to play. He's like, you look at most of the calls we've made, except for the Freddie Stewart one. I thought that was a little bit strange. But for most of the things, we're like, get Ollie Lawrence straight back in there, and he's thrown Ollie Lawrence straight back in there. You know, like a lot of the players that you want to see playing are probably out there. So how long do you give him?
I don't know. If you look at the fixtures for England as well, it only gets pricklier. I mean, they've got a tour to Japan. Helmed by Eddie Jones, so that'll be very tasty. It could be quite spicy. And then they've got the Southern Hemisphere Giants, and it could all go quite pear-shaped quite quickly for him in terms of pressure. So, and if he isn't under it already, so it could be over sooner rather than later.
But Max, you're an England fan. You're English. He's got a 5-year contract, so he's secure in as far as he has the backing of the hierarchy, as long as he doesn't lose Twickenham, really, which is what Eddie lost.
That's fickle.
Yeah?
The backing of the hierarchy. Come on now. It's all about results, especially the amount of money they pump into England. These contracts, it seems to me, are sort of written on toilet paper for the best part. But who can say? Maybe they'll stand by him for the whole cycle. But I think they want to see some results soon. They have a very, very good crop of players. The young guys, obviously, England under 20 tournaments in the past few years have been very successful. So there's no doubting the caliber of player that he has access to. So they're expecting results, and I think that's what they're sort of banking on, aren't they?
But that's it. There are no excuses. There are no excuses. Are there? They pay, because I didn't realise this. They pay to get access to their players during these international windows, and that's why there was such an upset when Gregor Townsend came out and said, it's unfair that they don't get access to their players. But I'm guessing it's something to do with England paying the Premiership clubs the fee to have access to the players. So they get access to the players the whole Six Nations round, which I don't think anyone else does. Maybe the Irish might. But certainly Wales and Scotland don't. They've got a lot more teams than everybody else in there, especially within Ireland, Wales and Scotland. And they've got some of the best players in the world. And in terms of facilities,
it's not bad.
Next level.
Not bad.
So,
I agree with you, right. But from players that have worked with Steve Borthwick, they all profess to his sort of genius and his caliber as a man. So,
and his track record as well. Together. It's not like he's been there. He helped coach Japan when they beat South Africa in 2015. He's done the lines, and he's been spoken about so highly.
And obviously, 100%.
Premiership with taking a Leicester side that was bottom basically, and then taking them to a European final, and then winning the Prem the following year. How crucial to a winning team is the coach? And it sounds very basic, obviously you need a great coach, but genuinely you guys have had different coaches and different groups of players, and how often was it where a good group of players don't get the results because of the coach, or a good group of players does well in spite of the coach?
That's tough. The most recent memory of sort of players taking control of a club and winning a serious tournament was that Harlequins team with Paul Gustin. So obviously they had a core group of very senior guys: Danny Kerr, Joe Marler, Mark Smith at the time, and then they took the reins sort of around Boxing Day, didn't they? With the backing of the support staff. Paul Gustin was gone, and they managed to win the Premiership. But for what it's worth, I think a coach, as a professional athlete, you don't have that much autonomy in terms of the administration if you have a head coach, or DOR. That's just how it is. So I would say that, especially at international level, not that I've had any experience, but I'd say that they have a massive, massive influence. Wouldn't you say that, Rhys?
Yeah, I think they do. I suppose if you look at the most recent with Dan McFarland, obviously being stood down by Ulster last weekend, and they had their first game against the Dragons without him, under a new reign without Dan McFarland. They played pretty well. I was with Craig Gilroy, who probably wasn't Dan McFarland's biggest fan, And he said that he felt like he'd probably lost the changing room a little bit. And listen, Dan McFarlane, I absolutely loved as a coach. I thought he was brilliant. He was my forwards coach at Glasgow. He's my forwards coach at Scotland. I really got on with him. And the chat was when he first went to Ulster, things were going well. He got him out of a bit of a hole. But international level, I think it's slightly different. And I think it's not as easy to sort of dip a coach in and dip a coach out. I mean, Eddie Jones is the only one that's like a yo-yo with this, in and out 1 minute. But yeah, I think it is. You look at Andy Farrell, I truly believe Ireland are where they are because...
Yeah, but what about the hard work of Joe Smith before? He laid some foundations there.
Yeah, he would have definitely laid foundations. I guess you look at their schooling system. So who is the mastermind of all the sort of schools in the Cassidy system? It will be someone that I ask. And I know that Gregor probably will have a say in what happens, like as it goes down the line with the Scotland national game. So yeah, they're pretty instrumental at international level, I reckon. Not just at that team at the level there, but everything else that goes like grassroots. They'll have a hand in that, I think. Should we go on to that Scotland-Italy game? Move on to that.
Yeah, let's get your thoughts, Ryan. I mean, you've kind of backed yourself into a corner talking about the fan slam for the past 3 weeks. So
I like sort of it. Think There's a nice where ring to it.
Yeah, it sounds good, but then let's not forget this is an Italian side that should have beaten France, the team that did beat you.
Well, they didn't really, but okay.
Because that was the score.
Wow. Okay. It was around. They did.
Don't blame the refs,
Okay.
Just concentrate on your own results and what happened.
But yeah, you listen. Albeit we had lovely Mitch Lamar on last week. What a legend! If you didn't listen to that, go back and listen. The way he spoke and the way the Italian rugby going, they are going in the right direction with their under-20s, etc. But you're like, fucking hell, you can't.
Is it a year too soon? You think, right?
You can't even think about it. You can't fathom it, boys. Nah. We'll go over there. There's no way Scotland lose. There's no way Scotland lose. They go over there and get the job done. One thing for sure, though, is Gregor can't, in the past, I've been involved in a few teams that maybe they swapped in a couple of different 10s or they tried a different combination. Don't do that to us, Gregor. Just make sure you put out the best team. Don't rest anyone for next week. Don't look ahead to Ireland.
Agreed.
You go there because it's a difficult place to go play. Stadio Olimpico. I was on that game where Donkey Weir slotted that drop goal from 40 metres out to win the game. We're running back thank God. But, you can't underestimate them. That's for sure.
I don't think the Scotland camp's going in like that though. Given that result,
no, they're not.
Yeah, I think they'll take the Italian threat very seriously.
Yeah, and as long as Mc van der Merwe's out there, we'll be all right. And Finn McRussell and Mc van der Merwe will kill it.
On Mc van der Merwe, can we have a quick word for commiserations to Max Leaf for getting hung and fucking quartered?
You can't holiday in South Africa anymore.
Never again. I will keep my mouth very shut about the hallowed Springbok shirt.
Please.
Lads, I've had debates in my DMs for time. I was like, I don't care that much about this, but let's have it. Let's have some meaningful dialogue about this. I didn't even say that he should be starting. I just said I feel as if Rassi would have implemented such a sort of niche athlete into his Springbok team. The way he does that is quite genius. And then next minute, absolutely not. You pirate. What are you talking about? You unhinged, insane maniac.
Just so much. And also just frivolous use of insults, I found.
Oh, mate.
What the fuck is this? And you're like, he's just had an opinion. Sorry.
I love the comment section. I'm so happy just scrolling down the comment section.
I was just like, yep, fair enough. Fair enough, chaps. You've won all the World Cups. What am I talking about? I know nothing.
It went pretty big. And people wanted to get their comments in on there.
We had fun.
Although there was a few South Africans that were for it. They were like, listen, we'd have him. We think he would make it. But a lot of people questioning his defence. But yeah, it's that was funny. That did make me laugh.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. I had some fun conversations with people in the DMs. Someone came at me actually for abusing Doohan. I was like, what the? I'm loving Doohan. I'm Doohan's number one fan.
Did you not watch the vid?
Did you watch
Sometimes I feel like people write shit in there to get a reaction, I think.
Yeah.
Do that. They write stuff to then get a reaction. They're
Just
like,
little fishing. Just fishing.
It was amusing.
Put the little hook.
It was amusing.
It did make me happy. And then, so to round that up, yes, I think Scotland will do the job. Max, how many points are they going to win by over in Italy? What do you reckon?
I'll go 7.
Okay, I'm going Scotland by 14, at least.
14?
Yeah.
I just think one thing about Italy at the moment is they are an 80-minute team, so I think it'll be very competitive for a long time. But yeah, I think a score for sure.
I mean, you watched that game last week, right, fellas? 2 weeks ago.
I thought that France were particularly. They were playing with sort of 14 people, and they are quite incoherent at the time. They're relying on star caliber to sort of muscle their way through these games at the moment.
But it's what I say. They seem to get frustrated. The French, if it's not going their way, they seem to get frustrated. They need that man back.
Yeah, there was a bit of that
back who's away winning sevens tournaments. They need him back.
Let's have a quick line on, and we love him.
The rudder.
Genuinely, he is just a superstar, both, and he could do whatever he wants. And giving France a first sevens victory in a heck of a long time, and it feels like he's the game changer, even in a different format.
But this is what I was saying, and you boys are like, no, don't be so stupid. Like he can't just swan on in there. And I'm going, let him play Six Nations, and then he can fuck off for the Olympics. But you guys are like, no, you need this, you need that. He goes over there. Isn't he fucking anything? I reckon he could have just waltzed into there. He's basically won him a sevens tournament for the first time in God knows how long.
Yeah,
20 years.
He probably did have to do a fair bit of ticker training. That's about it.
Exactly. I mean, I go to Blaze at David Lloyd. I just up that to 3 times a week, then once a week. I could probably do it.
Oh, mate.
But I'm telling you, I knew this would happen, and the French, I reckon, are sat here going, "You motherfucker, why have you fucking done this to us? You need to come back, you bastard." Can you translate that for me, Mark? But
you got it. You nailed it. But wait, are the French shouting at themselves, because he is still playing for France, mate? So
I know. But they Six Nations is their gravy, isn't it? Like, it's not the sevens, and there'll be a bit of frustration. I reckon they'll be looking at it going, we could have probably just let him go after the Six Nations, or at least give 2 or 3 games and then go off. But it just shows that man, put him in anything. I mean, what other sports can we put him in, boys? That's what I want to know. What other sports can we chuck him in?
Well, clearly, from what Smorg was saying, from Blair Kinghorn, he's a very competitive footballer.
I reckon he'd be really good at paddle tennis. I've never played paddle tennis, but I bet he's just shit hot at paddle tennis. I bet he could be like French
like
champion.
Something he'd be good at. Yeah, but you're right. that just works.
Champion. What? That's so random. Why? Why would he be good at that?
Just because I see it everywhere at the moment, I can just imagine him being good. Like, I bet he's shit hot. Max, everywhere you go, there's always a fucking table tennis. But a table tennis table, I bet he's good at table tennis.
Yeah. What else? I mean, you're just naming equestrian. I just think he'd be so good. Just like there.
I bet he's good at darts.
Eventing.
He's just one of those people who can just pick anything up. And I reckon
the consummate sportsman.
Right in a paddle court, he's probably going to be French champion.
Yeah.
We need to get him. We need to get him on and find out what other shit he's good at. Because it is.
Or what he's not good at. That's what I want to know. And the other one. So Zeebs quickly touched on it. France, Wales in Cardiff.
There's something. I kind of like Wales for this.
I'm with you, Max. I
know Zeebs thinks France will muscle their way through. I reckon Wales might do this one. Not by much, but I think they get the dub.
All right, mate, I'm completely on your side. We both agree on this. We are. I mean, I don't know where Mark's head's at. He pretends he's French. Pretends he's English.
I actually hate this match. I hate it because there's no winner really ever. So,
well, there is because realistically, you want Wales to win, so they're not the
wooden spooners. But then does that drag France into? It's such. Yeah, it sort of potentially drags France into a battle.
Okay, well, myself and Max reckon that Wales sneak this one. If they can get a full 80-minute performance, which they're due, they are due, then I think with the likes of your mate Cameron Winnett and Rafael just causing havoc, I think they use the principality to their advantage. I think they win. I think Wales win this one. They sneak it by 1 point, maybe last kick of the game.
Sadly, Alex Mann has to be benched for Daffer Jenkins, captain going to 6, bring in Will Rowlands, add some horsepower to the pack, a little bit more beef.
Okay, well, Ryan, that's an interesting one from Max. How easy is it for somebody to play their first ever international game, moving from lock to blindside? You've played it internationally in the back row. Is it doable in a way?
Yeah, a lot of players are doing that. You see Scott Cummins do it quite a bit for Scotland when he's back at Glasgow. There's a type of lock that can do it. Like I couldn't see a big Richie Gray, like the old 6'10"ers doing it. That just doesn't work. But
like a Tyke Burton could do it.
Yeah, kicking around 6'4", 6'5", they're athletic enough to hang out on those wide edges and keep themselves out of trouble in defence. Then yeah, why not?
Wait, right. You watch? Did you watch Cardiff versus Leinster?
No, I didn't.
Game? Well, Rhys Carr playing Blueshead for Cardiff Blues at the moment. It's wild that he's not involved in that Welsh team at the moment. He's scoring tries, incredible ball carrier, and I think that's somewhere where Wales are lacking. But apparently,
they used to say he wasn't
too
trim
unfit.
enough.
Yeah, not fit enough for the international game. But mate, he moves well for a big fella. But yeah,
he's moving well to Saracens. He's actually moving to Saracens now. So
he's going back.
Yeah,
great signing. He's really good. He's been on fire.
Unfortunately, he's not going to be playing for Wales then, unless he can grab 5 caps between now and signing. I think he's got about 20 caps. So
Welsh could do with getting rid of that rule, couldn't they? I was doing the Glasgow Benetton game in the studio. I have to fly over to Dublin to then sit in the studio. I don't like being in the studio because I can't mess about. You have to just sit at a desk and be like, you do feel like news at 9. You feel like tapping. I feel like Mark with his tie and his shirt and his head popping out like very Fisher. I don't like it. Whereas I get
you want to you get weird. Yeah, you get fidgety. You want to do stuff.
Exactly. But Glasgow, great win. First time Benetton have been beaten over there since March last year, in a whole year. That's right, Benetton. So they've fallen down a little bit, but they've got a good enough team and a lot of players coming back from Italy, obviously, towards the end of it. But talking of URC, boys, should we talk about Wasps? Because how true is it? I don't know. Again, speculation. I did text Kenny Logan, who I know is involved with Wasps in their sort of comeback, and he just gave me the old prayer hands, but I don't know what that means. Does that mean
hopefully,
please?
Hopefully,
yeah, I think that's what
saying please to me as a man of the URC, or
what is it? Could you broker this deal for us, please? Sort it for us, Will. I'll get it. Do you want in? Do you want in? Do you want to go in?
I'll go have a word with Martin. CEO. Let me have a chat with him.
Big Mark
Wilson.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't. This is what I envisaged. Remember, a little while back, I said this is how it will start, and they'll start bringing the Prem teams in. We'll lose one, and it was going to be Newcastle, but now the Saudis are in. I don't know whether it will be, but would we lose another Premiership team and then them start begging, please let us come in, let us come in? This could be the start of it.
The straw that will break the camel's back for the ultimate club competition.
But do you want to be seen as picking up, somebody else's sloppy seconds? We never really like that, do we?
Oh, is that what you're calling Wasps? Sloppy seconds?
No, sorry. I'm not saying Wasps.
Their club legacy, my God.
They don't have any players.
That is heresy.
Guys, it's like we're not getting, who am I thinking of? Moseley, right? Famous old club. I'm not slagging them off, but that's my point. Wasps don't have any players. They don't have a home.
Yet.
They don't. But is that what the URC would want? Is a club that isn't a club right now?
I think the URC will take this. If this is happening, this is all speculation, isn't it? But they'll make sure everything is in in tip-top condition before they took on a club like Wasps.
Exactly. I also text Kenny Logie saying, remember, I've still got my boots.
Right.
So he's like this, please, and then you reply with please as well.
Yeah, and then he sent the monkey covering his eyes emoji. So I don't know what that means. Whether that's like, oh God, please no. But yeah, you're right, Max. There will be a lot that goes into getting them in. It's not just a case of please let us in. Oh yeah, in you come, and then fucking something else happens.
To be like a mad success, so it'll have to work for both parties properly. Yeah.
Yeah, but how important is that heritage? That was my point. Like, it's very important to Wasps fans, Wasps players, ex-players, people who've been following rugby for years. But when you strip away your everything, where you're based, your stadium, your players, the hierarchy, the owners, I mean, you're left with a logo and the name. And how is that?
Yeah, but just because
but a lot of clubs move. A lot of clubs move stadiums. A lot of clubs move facilities. Like, look at Max. He went from that shithole to the fucking X-Men lair that he's in now.
It's like 3.5 minutes down the road.
They can move 3.5 minutes down the road somewhere. The good thing is they've obviously been in London and Coventry, so they've got all the space in between. But no, I think listen, they want to come back. There is something there, and I think good luck to them trying to get back in there.
It's not just a logo, Mark. It's a symbol. Hey.
Okay, no. I'm interested. I mean, historically, was being a fan of watching Wasps and the type of rugby that they play. But again, I just wonder what happens when you strip everything away from a club. When is a club still a club that's that value within, for the URC?
Yeah, well, the URC is the best league in the world, so
good answer. Just a good answer. Doesn't matter.
Tell you what else is my new favourite thing, Max. I'm genuinely thinking about like sticking at the food blogging. I love it. Although I got a few texts, like there's this fucking sandwich shop in Dublin, and I've only been to the studio twice, but it's right around the corner of the studio. It's called the Pig and Heifer, and it is ridiculous. Like the sandwiches they do, like proper sandwiches, rye bread with the Reuben.
Oh, the salt beef, the pickles, the mustard. Oh my God, man!
I had lamb one with goat cheese.
Seduce me more.
Pork loin with roasted onions.
Oh, good God, man!
How many sandwiches did you have?
Well,
you sampled a few, didn't you?
But that's the problem. Someone messaged me. I'm like, wow.
You're turning into a goddamn Reuben.
I'm a professional food blogger. Like, you're not meant to eat everything that you order. I was like, well, hold on a minute. I don't want to waste any food. But also, Max, tell me you saw that reel I put up of me and Barks butchering meat the other day.
Oh, so good.
No, let me see.
So good. Chuck it on. Get it in the. I rang you, didn't I, Wilst? And I did say I thought it was a really good one. It made me hungry.
It was pretty special. A guy, Ollie from Meat Matters down in Wales, Max. I'm gonna have to introduce you because he was given the old, why is the fat yellow? And I was like, oh, Max told me this one because it's grass fed. But he brought up like a whole thing of sirloin. We had like butchered it, did a whole rump. Oh, mate, we did it all on coals. It was just absolutely wonderful.
Dirty.
I think I found my calling for after rugby, just eating.
That's a worthy cause.
It is arguably every single person on earth, bar like very small babies. So everybody who's basically alive does that. So
are you getting away the pellicle and everything? Oh my God, look at this! Very good.
Filming meat is part of it. Mark, you'll like this. You'll be a man of this. Honey infused with black truffle. Oh God!
Mate, that looked sweet.
That's outstanding. That is outstanding.
It was pretty special. I think this is a good opportunity to thank our sponsor. That is Wolf Craig Distillers. We just want to say a big thank you again. They've looked after us all the way, boys. We're 30 odd shows in. We had a few questions, by the way, last week. Where's the Alfie Barbary episode? And I thought we did enough. What we did was we put it at the end, so then people might not have listened to it. But For those listening now, I don't know why I'm starting to whisper, just in case.
Yeah, they're listening.
Basically, we weren't allowed to put it out because we were naughty.
We were naughty without realising.
Naughty without realising, yeah. We
overly candid.
Gloss over it and say that we were overly candid, Max. That is why there was a missing episode. And that's why you probably can't hear the Alfie Barbary one. But we will do another one soon. But yeah, whilst I'm on that, big thank you to Wolf Craig Distillers, who never have any issues with us. They just support us all the way, and we absolutely love you. And if they want to go and grab themselves a gin or a wonderful 14-year-old whiskey, Max, where do they head?
wolfcraig.com.
Also, what else do we need people to do to grow? We need them to like, subscribe, do all the bits that you're meant to do. Head over to the MAUL or Nothing YouTube channel. We put out our own little bits of content. So go and find it, subscribe, go and watch some of our videos. We've done a few bits. We'll do another one next week, won't we, Max? Because we did our team of round 3 and that went pretty well. Yeah. But we need you to subscribe. And if you don't subscribe and like, then we'll die.
Yeah.
We'll die.
Well, on that wonderful note, just leaves us to say a huge thank you to Ryan and to Max. And to all of you, thank you for listening. Also, don't forget your fantasy teams ahead of the round. Get them in, and we'll start giving people some, throwing some shade on people's choices and see how the boys are doing and everybody else. And we'll read out the winner and give you lots and lots of congratulatory messages. So, but in any case, thank you for listening. Thank you all, and we will see you all next week.
Just.
Peace out.
Ta-ta.
Peace out.
More or nothing.
Ireland, together standing tall.
Con Italia, Italia.